The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. We have an awesome show scheduled for you today. And as always, well, not as always, for a very special show.
Hello!
Mr. Justin Cooper, how's it going, my friend?
It's going great, Leo. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. We had a wicked storm come by here yesterday.
Nor'easter.
Yeah, nor'easter. Down at the Cape, yeah. I don't know what the hell that was. But yeah, Brandon's out of power, and we even had to cancel the Token Dead guys because they're both out of power. And old Poop Pusher says, "Howdy, gents, howdy." Tom says, "Happy Wednesday, Leo and Justin. Happy Wednesday, Tom."
That's my new friend Tom. Hey, Tom, I know you.
Tom, we got to get your internet fixed so you can start coming on here.
Tom's a good dude. Yeah, I think we connected on Facebook. We like a lot of the same stuff. So yeah, it's great connecting with these Dorkening followers because we're all big dorks.
Yes, we are.
Or at least I am. So
Sheba to the moon.
Oh boy, yeah. You want to kick us off with that?
Oh yeah. Did you get any Sheba?
No, I don't gamble. It's against my religion of collecting action figures.
Well, my TF source pre-orders were in a lull. So yeah, it's
You apparently didn't see the Hasbro Pulse release this week then.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
I don't
know how people do it.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so Shiba, if you don't know, is a cryptocurrency, and it's absolutely gone bonkers. Like $50 worth of Shiba, if you bought it in September, is now like $1,000. It is just insane. So I bought a little bit, and I'm gonna hold on to it for a while. But it's as a dork, the tech behind it is really good. There's been some shit coins that go around, like meme coins like Doge. They thought it's like the Doge killer, but we're all in this together. But basically Doge was just a meme coin, and that's why it skyrocketed and then just like leveled off, but Shiba has a whole back system that they're planning with it, and if you read the papers on it, it's really interesting. Like they got their own burn system built in. So basically the amount of Shibas available slowly dwindles. So the price slowly goes up. But it's people have gone crazy for it. And like over the past couple of days, the price has skyrocketed. This entire year, it's up like 60,000%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and right now it's wicked cheap. Like one Shiba Inu coin is like four. Actually, I'll tell you right now, it's like 4 zeros or 5 zeros. And I know this is all riveting. Yeah, 4 zeros and followed with an 8. So it's like a fraction. Like what's that? 1,000th of a percent of a cent.
This reminds me of The Simpsons, where they kept handing out like company stock on toilet paper rolls.
Yeah. just like that. Except this year has potential. I don't give any financial advice. Definitely do your own research. But
Yeah, we're not bounced by the SPIC or anything along those lines.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tom says I still have to get you guys on my show as well. Totally, Tom. Totally.
Yeah, I'm a podcast whore, so Brandon, we miss you already, buddy. You know, people are going to figure out that I'm not you in about 5 seconds, and it's just going to go to hell from there. So
Not at all, not at all. You're gonna save this show because I'm the dumbass here. Brandon says, "Hi guys, have a good show. I'll be back next week. Nor'easters suck." Yeah, totally. So yeah, that's my dork out for Shiba. Definitely go look into it. You can get it on like Coinbase or Crypto.com. I don't know if Binance has it, but it's something to look
Venmo
into.
was doing some of that stuff. I don't know if they were doing like Bitcoin or anything like that, but I saw you can actually purchase it straight from there.
Yeah. So Bitcoin, I mean, Bitcoin was that's the whole thing that kicked it off because that's right now it's 60,000 a coin. Where back in like 2011, you were like trading like 1,000 of them for pizza.
Wow.
Yeah. It's yeah. Uh,
So are we creating another sort of internet bust circumstance where you're going to have like those pop-up millionaires?
could be. I mean, if this here, there's, I belong to a community. There's, about 700,000 in there, and it's yeah, just a lot of people are going to make a lot of money off of it.
Good.
Yeah, totally.
I like the idea of it being redistributed to people who are somewhat savvy about it, but not like those bloodthirsty Wolf of Wall Street types.
Yeah,
You know, it's
totally.
like you're like, yeah, this guy's a millionaire, but he's also got the Millennium Falcon from 1979, like hanging from string in his, bedroom. So it's like I could, you know what, I could party with that guy.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, the big brain dorks, really been, crushing it to Wall Street. That's how the whole like GameStop stock reason why that skyrocketed. Because I don't know the logistics about it, but the reason why they were buying into it and keeping that stock high is I guess you had Wall Street people that like bought and said, okay, we're gonna sell at a specific time.
mhm.
If the
They were
price
short
drops
sheeting
so
it.
much. Yeah, exactly. But since they kept the price high, a lot of Wall Street people lost a lot of money on that.
I wonder if some people are going to jail.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. Let's
Yeah,
let's hope. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not the angry type, And one of the things I thought was pretty interesting about just you and I doing a show is that you and I like things, right? Like a lot of times I'll watch and Steven, it absolutely surprised me that he liked Dune, by the way. But
real.
I was kind of blown away. I was like, what? But a lot of times like guys, on the show and all that will be critics of things and they'll say, oh, I didn't really like this or didn't like that, but most of the time, I think you and I are pretty right there. We're like, and I liked it.
Yeah, yeah.
We take it at face value most of the time.
Totally. I mean, if it's enjoyable or not, I try not to hate on too much. But speaking of Dune, I absolutely friggin' loved it.
Oh
You know,
yeah, that
it-
was cool, man.
yeah.
Wow.
The I haven't seen the original. Well, the what David Lynch version, right?
Yeah, so the David
Uh,
Lynch, I just did a whole podcast on this thing, and I am not a Dune expert.
yeah.
I had brought
Same
on
here.
three huge Dune heads, including the legendary El Goro from the Talk Without Rhythm podcast, who
Oh,
is
nice.
like such a huge Dune guy. And I had my buddy Josh Adams on there and William Thomas Boyles, all probably subscribers to the Dorkening. So they're talking about how there's like 19 books and not all this stuff is canon. And Frank Herbert died after like the sixth book, so his son had to take over. And the whole idea behind Dune is that it kind of gives you like this idea of like, okay, we're giving you your Luke Skywalker sort of character, and now he's going to fall. And now you're going to question his motives from the beginning. And now you're going to question if this even did anything. Now you're going to question why it's what. And then like behind that, it's like, okay, now you've got like the political struggle of spice where it's like, is it drugs? Is it oil? What do you think? And then like all those sort of layered pieces in there. It's very, like I feel like George R. R. Martin pulled a lot of his sort of intrigue from like the houses and families of this. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
interwoven. It's crazy.
You know what? I didn't even think of that. I see that a lot now. That's wow. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's good. And I mean they've got like the elements of magic, they've got the elements of sci-fi in there and like your action pieces. And I guess like what he had wanted to do originally was he didn't want to have like laser battles and things like that where it's like, oh yeah, it's just over because people can shoot with lasers. That's why they have to fight with like those crisp blades and things like
Yeah.
have personal shields. So it's pretty cool.
I like how they handled the shields in here, and I get like the '80s version of Dune. It's the CGI back then was very limited, but seeing Captain Picard in like the
Yes. How about his mullet at the end?
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't remember the mullet at the end.
Yeah, at the end, he had been in with the Fremen people for a good couple months or something like that, while Paul was gone or something. And he shows up, and you're like, oh wow, I think it's Gurney, is it? Gurney has like this sort of little white bullet coming out the back, and it's just kind of crazy. You're like, wow, I've never seen Jean Luc with such long hair, so it's pretty
I
exciting.
I need to rewatch the first one. So a lot. It's one on HBO right now isn't a sequel or a remake or anything. It's just a retelling,
Mhm.
And I know some people get their hair in a bunch and thinking, oh, they're remaking the classic. Why are they going to kill it? But it's just a different retelling, a different look at the books. Um,
Well, the first movie was a flop. It was not like, I mean, despite everything that they threw at it with like high name actors and directors and things like that, there were people that were on it, that were off it and all that. I think it looks great. Like it's got like that awesome like sort of 1980s vibe to it. I like it as a thing because I hadn't read the book. But I'm like, all right, I like it. But
yeah,
then when you get to the end of it, it is so far off from everything. It's like, oh yeah, okay, that's kind of messed up. And yeah, now where does this go? And when you find out like the real story, you're like, oh, none of that bullshit with the rain. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then if you watch the like the sci-fi original series, the Children of Dune, holy crap, man! Was it John? I almost said Malkovich. The dude from Split. I can't think of his name all of a sudden. Um, but yeah, like, he's in it and he plays Paul's son, and it gets like really weird, and he becomes this sort of amalgamation the of the sandworm and like the Messiah, and you're like, what? Yeah, it's like so crazy, but it's like
well,
I guess it all makes sense if you've read all six of the books.
yeah. See, I never read the books, but at the end of the '80s one, I remember. And this is why I was a little ticked off that I didn't I thought they were doing like a Snyder cut. When I saw part one, I thought, okay, this is going to be a long movie. They're going to do different parts throughout the movie, but yeah, it ends, without the whole third act. But
They didn't
but
even cast the guys yet, so
no,
like the main antagonists and all that after this first film, they're not even cast. I don't even think I don't think we have some of the main players. So they're
well,
they're going full Hobbit, on this one. There's going to be four movies or something,
yeah,
at,
well,
at very least two.
and they're going to do it fast because it's scheduled to come out next year, right? No, 2023, right?
I'd have to imagine they've got some principal photography done
Yeah,
on this already, so it just makes sense that they would have done that. So
yeah,
yeah.
but a great watch regardless. If
Oh,
you
it
have
just
a
looks cool.
Yeah. Well, and the story is just so, really well done, just and captivating. It's uh when it came out, I ended up staying up late to watch it. And just I fell in love with it. Absolutely, I couldn't get enough of it. I'll end up watching it again, but yeah, it's can't wait for the sequel. But this one overall is just friggin' amazing. And if you have HBO Max, just go watch it.
This is one. Do you think you'd be persuaded to go see it in the theaters?
I'm not ready to go into the theaters yet. If I do, I'm gonna do the rent a theater option.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I've been in a couple out here, and I don't know how it is there. Here it's a little bit different, where they come and they spray down everything and all that, and you have to wear a mask while you're sitting unless you're eating something. And usually there's like they'll fill it to half capacity.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just went to go see Coraline, and I took the whole family, maybe about a month ago, something like that. It was like a 10-year anniversary or something for it. So
Nice. Well, I'm a germaphobe, so
I totally understand.
yeah.
I totally understand. So
Yeah, it's I think I'm gonna do the rental for, definitely Ghostbusters.
that'll
Um
be awesome.
yeah. And maybe Eternals,
Are
yeah.
you anticipating that that's going to be a great movie, or are you anticipating that it's just something that you're going to like? Do you think that hot off of Shang-Chi, this is going to be like the next thing? What's your thoughts on it?
I hope it is. I'm already seeing negativity against it, you know. It definitely looks like it's an odd story, and I'm sure a lot of people probably won't get that. From what I understand, like a seed is planted in the earth, and that's how.
Oh, they're going that route, are they? The Celestial Seed. Okay.
I think so, from what I heard. Yeah, so I think the story may be a little whacked out for some people, for like the normals going into it, but us geeks, I think it's going to be amazing.
I think it definitely looks good, and the casting looks amazing.
Yeah.
The early reviews that I've seen say that this is unlike any other Marvel film that you've seen. So don't go into it expecting it to be Avengers or Endgame, where everybody and they're here and they're going to be punching each other and stuff. So I think it's to be more like Doctor Strange, and I'm very ready for that kind of film.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and I love Doctor Strange. I have to say that's my all-time favorite Marvel movie.
Oh wow! Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Uh yeah, it's and the guy from Silicon Valley I absolutely love.
Guilfoyle? Oh no, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Kunali
Yeah.
Munjal. Yep,
Yeah.
from the Big Sick and all that.
Yeah, he got friggin' jacked for that.
Yeah,
That's
he did.
insane.
I love him on Adventure Time. He's like, "Hey, have some pickles. I made them myself." Yes. Yeah, was it Prismo? Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah.
You should
Uh,
get him on the show. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah. Open invitation, man. Yeah.
I'm sure he's watching right now.
Well, why wouldn't he be? We're talking about his movie.
Yeah, totally. I mean, what about you? What do you think?
I do think it's going to be good, but I mean, I'm an X-Men fan, so I get if your movie is not about, a direct confrontation with like a villain and fighting them head on. It's more like conceptual, where it's like, oh, I'm going to change the weather and then that's going to affect everything. So it's like I get like that high concept form of action. I dig that. So I think it's going to be good, and we're going to see a lot of like passive use of powers, where it's like someone will be like, "Oh, well, I healed this field, so the people that I've cared for centuries can live in Chernobyl or something." It's like, oh, okay, it'll be stuff like that, rather than like, oh, I blasted someone with my laser beam eyes, which Icarus does have, so he'll probably
And
blast some
I
people.
hear he gets referenced to Superman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually that was an article I read where, obviously, geeks, you got to gatekeep. But yeah, apparently Superman and Batman are mentioned in the movie.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very meta, like Logan, where Logan's actually looking at a comic of himself. So,
Really?
oh yeah, do you have you seen Logan?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
It's I don't remember that
probably
though.
been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So they're looking at a comic book, and it has Wolverine in the comic book and all that, and he's holding it up, and Laura X-23 was kind of reading it. So
Okay.
it's interesting. So
Yeah.
that's probably one of my favorites, actually. Even
Really?
though it's like the saddest thing ever, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that was a downer, I enjoyed it as well. I never watched the black and white version. Uh,
I haven't. I need to watch that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it as well. It's but yeah, it's that's a sad movie, Uh,
Definitely.
and I get it, you needed to complete that timeline, because everything got fucked up with X-Men First Class and everything like that. But yeah, it's all the
It's
mutants.
X-Men for you, man. I mean, when you're reading them, you don't know what to pull from and all that, and everything is so muddled up. It's like, when did this happen? Did that happen? Time travel? What's going on? And then you try to piece it together, and it just does not work.
Yeah.
So why would the movies be any different? You know, and for fans that like them, you know, I go to see what the characters are and what the characters are doing and all that, and you know, it's like it's okay. Like I get to see Wolverine on screen, I get to see Beast or Nightcrawler on screen. It's okay. You know, it's like I'm gonna be good. You know, I'm not expecting it to be like, you know, this is you know, Shakespeare on ice or something. It's like no, it's just literally, you know, an Iceman. So I'm all right with it.
As long as he's with Firestar and Spider-Man.
Wouldn't that be a cool one, right?
Oh yeah,
You know, and
as long as they get the intro song in there, I'm all set.
that would be such a fun thing to do for like a series, but I know they don't want to mess with like Spider-Man as a property, but
Yeah.
how awesome would that be? And then you have like Doctor Doom's in the movie and you know, they have to get that guy with his little Lopsy dog or whatever, you know, Mr. Lumpkin or something. You know, it's like, yeah, that would be a fun one.
Oh yeah. You never know. Maybe we'll get a a new animation.
Well, like we did for Aquaman. Have you seen this one?
No, I haven't.
So DC fandom, all this stuff's coming out, and there's a brand new Aquaman cartoon. It's a 3-part Aquaman. I want to say like Throne of Atlantis. So the art style, trigger warning, right? If you're a fan of Thundercats Roar, then you will like the Aquaman. Yeah, you can hear the internet crickets chirping on that one, but if you're a fan of that, that's the art style. So it looks like, you know, someone's notebook with like Aquaman, and you know, it's a little wacky. Kind of looks like the animation at the end of Shazam, which I thought was cool. But
Yeah, that was yeah.
but it's a little different, like maybe like a Mad Magazine style or something. But it's a 3-part, and it's definitely in like the Jason Momoa style. So
Nice.
that's a whole thing. You could
Well,
check that out or not.
DC animation has been on point. It's Harley Quinn is friggin' phenomenal. But the new DC one, Injustice, the animation sucks in that.
Oh, thank you for saying that because you know, I mean, for someone to like you to say that, and it's like literally you and I like all this stuff. Like we like I will defend the Killing Joke because I like parts of the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
When you watch it and like their knuckles have like way too much ink on them and stuff, and I'm like, what is going on? This is
all,
ugly.
all the lines are
Yeah.
super, and Brandon mentioned it, and I was fixated on that on the
Yeah,
entire
it's
movie.
distracting.
Yeah.
And then they take and they truncate 2 full video games of story and eliminate so many characters, make all these changes. It's like, hey, do you like Green Arrow? Because he's dead. That didn't what are we, you know, it's like, all right, I'm all for rolling with the punches and stuff like that. It's just you guys really put the cart before the horse on this thing. You know, it really wasn't appealing.
Yeah.
There was like very little about it that I could be like, I love this. Besides like Anson Mount as Batman, which is that was
Yeah.
fantastic. But
Anson
like-
Mount, he needs to do well. Actually, he needs to keep doing what he's doing because
Yeah.
he's the new, he's going to be in the new Star Trek. So
yeah, Captain Pike. So I
Yeah.
am totally down for that.
yeah. Did
So-
you watched Discover? Discovery?
I do watch Discovery. I watch Lower Decks, all of that kind of fun stuff. So
Lower Decks is so fun.
yeah, it is. I'm so glad it's animated too.
Yeah. Except the season finale, that was spot on.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh,
I think that's the last one for me. So
it goes more Trek than comedy.
oh wow, cool.
Yeah, I mean it has comedy elements, but yeah, it is more like saved a day type of thing going on.
As opposed to the one where Boimler is trying to get Tom Paris to sign his Voyager collector's plate throughout the entire episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is just like so meta. It's just fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, there's some enemies in there, and yeah, it's
Yeah, they go deep too. I mean, like they had Andorians, they had like Ferengi from season 1 of Star Trek: The Next Generation with the Electro Whip and all that, and they're going after like the apes with the big unicorn horns. I'm like, wow, they're really crossing some streams here. So,
Oh, and they even make fun of that sludge that killed Tasha Yar.
oh my God, Artemis, or was
Yeah,
it
yeah,
Armis or something?
something like that. Yeah,
Skin of Evil. I'll always remember that.
yeah,
Yeah, that was poor Yar.
yeah. Well, I mean, she came back later in the series, though.
Twice.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah, twice. Yeah,
Yep.
because she came back when they Enterprise B came back from time. Was it B or C?
I think it was B. I don't.
B. Yeah, and she went back in time with B to save them, and then her sibling became like a
The Romulan.
yeah
Yep.
Romulan. Yeah,
That's what I was thinking for the second time. So
yeah, yeah. So
it's
yeah,
it's funny. I'm like, did she leave to go do Pet Cemetery? You know, it's like,
who knows what these people do? It's just
yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
So,
kind of like Walking Dead with Maggie there. She left to try to start her own career and that failed, and then she went back to Walking Dead.
she walked back.
She
Right.
walked back, yeah. Yeah, you not caught up with Walking Dead?
It's one of those shows where it's like I like it well enough, and I've read enough in the comics to like get far. I'm like, okay, I've read like the first 3 volumes of the trade paperbacks and stuff like that. I got up to the prison and the warden and stuff, and I'm like, all right, I know enough to be dangerous. But then it's like I never connected with this show. Like I don't know what it is. It's like, and everyone's like, oh, I love it. It's the highest thing ever. And I'm like, I have nothing for it or against it. It's just not on the radar.
Yeah.
Like I've seen season 1, I think, and that was it. And I'm like, okay, you know,
Well, so I can get that because I tried to get into it a couple times. While it was going on, I think I watched a couple episodes of like season 4 or whatnot, and I just couldn't get into it. And then I decided to sit down and just watch all of season 1 and 2, and then I got hooked, and I've been watching it ever since.
that's like when I watch a lot of anime and people are always like, hey, you really got to check out One Piece. And I'm like, well, I watched like 3 episodes and I wasn't into it. They're like, it's really not going to get you for the first 60 episodes. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, 60? No. I'm like, that means it's not good. So I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of like Star Trek. It doesn't really, take off until like the second or third season.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, with Star Trek, you can go back and you can watch all this stuff now that this wasn't available unless you had like the VHS box sets, like when we
Yeah.
were kids and stuff. So it's like if you want to watch like one particular episode of a season of DS9, you can go back and do that. So you're like, oh, I'd like to see the episode with the baseball card. Okay, let me go do that. And that's kind of like one of the ways I actually do like a Trek meetup group out here and we watch an episode and then we'll do like a trivia based on that particular episode.
Oh, sweet.
So that's kind of fun. And I mean, like that is super dorky, but I love it. I don't care. I like the people, so you go for that. And there's guys like and women that are in this group that can literally name like, oh yeah, this is the number that was on the ship that passed by at the outpost or something. So I'm like that with a lot of things, but not with
Yeah.
Trek. I'm just like a casual dip my toe guy.
Yeah.
But it's the cool thing about it is there's so much lore to it, and you can go back and just like watch this, and you can watch like, oh yeah, that episode that led up to Wrath of Khan, and like it takes on so much more meaning the more times that you watch it. That's one of the things I like about it.
Yeah, it's Trek. I used to be really deep into Trek, and like when Next Generation was on, and yeah, I was like reading all the technical manuals and everything. And
Oh yeah.
I was at the point where I knew like the barber's name on Next Generation, and it was yeah, then a friend of mine pointed out I was in too deep, so I and then I didn't really care for Deep Space Nine, so I stopped there.
Well, if you go back now, right? If you were to go back now and watch DS9, and maybe it wasn't your thing back then, because like for me, I was younger when it came out, so it's like I didn't get like the socio political aspects of it and like the racial undertones and things like that. It's like I had no clue, and then I go back for a second watch and I'm like, this is friggin' brilliant. I'm like, i I don't know what to do here. I'm like, Jeffrey Combs again, wow. It's like all these different things, and the actors and actresses, and the fact that they're doing this, and it's like it's clearly everybody's into this show. And I mean, it's like that first season of Firefly, because obviously there's no other season.
Yeah.
It's like you could tell all the actors are like firing on all the pistons that they have there, because that's working. To me, that's like season 4 DS9 on. You're like, whoa, we're in. You know,
Well, maybe I'll go back and give it another try. My
if you do, I would say like give DS9 another shot, because it's amazing. I'm not a Voyager guy. I'm
Yeah.
never going to be. Like, it's just not my thing.
See, I didn't mind Voyager.
It's
I
okay.
never finished it though, but and same thing with Enterprise. I started Enterprise, I enjoyed it, but it's while
It's
it
like
was not,
ice cream. It's still ice cream.
yeah,
You'll eat it.
yeah.
You know.
I mean, my main thing with DS9 was, Star Trek for me was always, boldly going where no one has gone before, where Deep Space Nine, it was just a space station.
The way that it started and the way that it ended could not be two different things in the world. It's just like, what? And in many ways, it's the most Star Trek of anything that's ever been Star Trek, with the
Really.
exception of the Orville. So so it's just like such a deep watch. And
Yeah.
I highly recommend that. And like I said, seasons 4 on is just so good. Maybe even less than that. But when they start getting into like the Dominion stuff and all that, and you're like, wow, are they making like drug analogs now? Are they making LGBT references in the early 90s? I'm like, what are they? It's so ahead of its time. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'll give it another watch because I was like in high school when it first came out, so it was just
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. I hold a grudge against Babylon 5 because they put it on instead of X-Men the cartoon series one time, and I just never forgave them. And I don't get into it. I don't like it. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's so good. You like sci-fi. You like this." I'm like, "I don't like it." And my dad loves it. So he's
yeah.
all like, "Oh, the Rangers. Oh, this and that and the other thing." I just don't care. And I know it's coming back. Like, I just saw an article that they're trying to bring back Babylon 5, and I just could not care less.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes, something will just irk you away, and
Oh yeah.
it's okay. There's plenty other geekdom out there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we were talking about this maybe one of the other times, but some people are really into horror films. I
Yeah.
watch horror films. Cool. I enjoy them and all that, but it's not like it's not my favorite thing where I'm just gonna go in and be like, oh yeah, this with this, and this person killed this person at this time into the movie, and it's like this other film. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
like, it's cool. I saw it. I moved on. You
Yep.
know, I'm like,
Exactly.
ask me about elves. Something like that. Like, let's talk Farscape, because I got some opinions. But other than that,
Yeah. Horror. I mean, like, yeah. I
a
like.
Bruce Campbell horror, I'm in.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of that, Black
Yeah, you
Friday.
like that segue? Yeah.
Oh, I love that segue. Okay, for everybody watching right now, if you haven't seen it, we're getting essentially another Evil Dead movie. It's Bruce Campbell fighting deadites. I mean zombies. It's
Michael Jai White is in it. So the
yeah.
actor that played Spawn,
Yep.
right? He
Uh,
was also I want to say Gamble in The Dark Knight.
so watching the trailer, what if this is like a backdoor like Evil Dead like future movie?
It's
Yeah.
weird because he doesn't look like Ash. He actually looks like John Cleese. And shout out
Really?
to John Cleese, who turns 82 years old today.
Oh
So,
wow.
but with that little tiny mustache that he has, he looks just so different.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a very different Bruce Campbell in this.
Yeah, it's anything he does is just magical, you know.
And it's going to be better than Zombieland Double Tap. Like it's like already like yes, I'm sure it's going to be better.
Well, I enjoyed Double Tap. Yeah.
But was it as good as the original?
No.
Yeah, it was like 10 years too late, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was
I'm
a
like,
little drawn out too, you know. It was
it had good parts. Like I like the part at the end when he's like hanging on the hook and like all that. So,
Yeah.
and I like the character dynamics in it. But I mean, the movie, it's like I don't feel like it really went anywhere or added anything to it.
Yeah. But it,
This is cool. So it's like basically Toys R Us, and there's a zombie apocalypse on Black Friday. All the shoppers are coming in, and it's just bedlam.
Yep.
This could be cool.
Yeah, it's is it coming out Black Friday?
Oh, I hope it is. So that would. Oh, I didn't see when it's coming out, but I mean,
No.
that's what 11/26.
Is it? Yeah. Also, Thanksgiving Day. Did you see what we're getting?
I hope it's Ghostbusters. I didn't see.
No. Coming to Paramount Plus as an exclusive. South Park post-COVID.
Oh wow!
Apparently, the Parker, Trey Parker, and what
Matt Stone.
Matt Stone. I think they were signed on to do 14 South Park movies or something like that.
Oh wow!
So at least that was the article I was reading. Yeah,
like the pandemic special and the vaccination special and all that.
Yeah, so this is going to be post-COVID. There's a teaser trailer out right now. And coming November 25th for Paramount Plus.
I realized I have been watching South Park since 1997, right? So been watching Simpsons since like what 1985.
Yep.
So like all these long storied histories with these characters, and they're still relevant because they're just like the shock jocks of animation at this point.
Yeah.
Even more to the point, like past like Family Guy and American Dad and all that. But
well,
I mean,
South
it's
Park,
be funny.
I mean, South Park, we got introduced to it because a friend gave you the CD of that, of Jesus versus Santa Claus, or yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I mean,
yeah, they were handing that out like fourth period, like with floppy disk copies of the Anarchist Cookbook. Right. That's yeah. That'll take you back. And kids, if you're under 30 and watching this, first of all, why? But second of all, you probably wouldn't get that reference. But that was something that was like heavily passed around, and everybody knew somebody who had it.
Oh, yeah. I had it on my BBS I ran.
Yeah, I imagined, it's like, oh yeah, now I know how to survive this if this happens because of this. It's like, oh man.
Yeah.
And they never printed that thing, did they?
Somebody must have.
Yeah.
Dot matrix printer just
Oh yeah, it's definitely on a dot. Yeah. You had to tear off all the little tabs on it. So
yep.
Man, that's a throwback. That's funny. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because you had that Santa versus Jesus thing back in the day. I remember that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I have the soundtracks. I have the Chef Aid soundtrack, and I have the one for the movie. That movie is in heavy rotation. I love that. Some great music.
Did I watch the movie? I must have watched that.
Have you ever laughed the most in your life? Then you've probably watched that movie.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so funny. And I mean, it's just, I don't know, like that's one of those movies like that and Team America World Police where I could just throw them in and it's like, it's just so insane. I'll just crack up.
Have you played the games?
A little bit. I played like the old N64 ones. And I think there was like a one on Dreamcast.
Oh no, I mean, sorry. The Stick of Truth and
Fractured Butthole.
Fractured Butthole. Yeah. Have you played either of those?
No, I've watched a couple times when my kids were playing them, but no, I've never played them myself.
Oh yeah, so good. It's like you're playing the actual show. It's really well done.
If they have Butters, then I'm in.
Yeah, Butters is in there. Yeah, he plays in the first one, he plays a Magneto type of character, I think.
Professor Chaos.
Yeah, Professor Chaos.
Nice. I love it.
There was something about that reminded me something about Dune I was going to bring up. I forgot what it was.
Did you do you have any visual favorite scenes from the film?
From Dune.
Yeah.
Um, I'd have to say I love those. Oh yeah, now I remember what I was going to say. Um, the ships that look like dragonflies.
Yeah, that was really neat. That was
Yeah,
and they look so fragile, which I thought was kind of cool.
yeah,
Because I guess the whole psychology behind that is this is a world where it's I think 40,000 years in the future and something like Skynet already happened.
yep,
So they've done away with all technology and all that to try to make it all man thought driven, and they're working on themselves and their minds rather than working on machines.
yeah,
So the basic thing that you can do is make a ship that looks like an animal that flies.
yeah. Just really well done. And the scene where the assassin bug comes after him and he catches it.
Oh yeah, because it looks so like hokey in the 80s one when
Yeah,
you see it and he's catching it and it's like it comes over with like the Buck Rogers sort of graphics that they have on it. And it's like
yeah,
moving slow, stop motion. But this one did look really cool. And
yeah,
some of the stuff in it looks really dangerous. And I think that's one of the things that they did really well in the movie is they made the stakes seem high. Like when people died and you're like, oh, I totally believe it. It just
yeah,
has that brutality to it.
yeah. What about you? Any favorite scenes?
Oh, the sandworm, the Il Shalib, right? When that sandworm comes up and you see like those bristly sort of teeth that it has and it just engulfs everything. That
Yep.
was nuts.
Yeah, it was.
The scope on that, it's like you think it's like, wow, that thing could literally just pop out of the ground and end up in space. It's that big.
Yeah.
It was
And I
really neat.
love how, how you could tell it was coming by watching like the sandstorms and stuff. And it definitely gave, when they're trying to cross the desert, that ominous feeling of like, holy shit, are they going to make it? Of course they're going to make it. They're the heroes.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the cool thing about movies is, you don't always think rationally. You're like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen to this person. You start feeling like that emotional attachment to it. That's how you know that they got you. Like
Yeah.
the fact that they're getting some sort of reaction from you means that you're affected by this particular piece of art,
Yeah.
which is a really cool thing. Because you don't have to like every part of every movie, but there's movies that you can watch that will put you in a headspace that you may like where you're like, you know what, I like how I feel after I watch Wizard of Oz or Clockwork Orange or I don't know, Eraserhead. It's like you could say it's like I like how it makes me think about things, or I like how it makes me think about my situation, or makes me feel grateful or something. So and I think like with the original Dune, that was one of the things that I liked about it because it was very thought provoking. And granted, a lot of the questions were, I wonder what this movie would look like if it was better. But but I love like that gritty sort of 1980s where everything is so heavily shadowed. And
Yeah.
and I know I take a lot of shit for this, but like it reminds me of Krull, which
Yeah. Well,
I
yeah.
love
Cold was
Krull.
in '80s. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was probably like the year before or year after, but it's got like that same sort of like weird filmed shadow, slow moving, metal glaive thing, and it's just I don't think we're ever going to see another era of film like the '80s where it was just so creative and you know I, everything was just fueled by cocaine.
That reminds me of Crawl video game for Atari.
Oh man, yeah.
I loved that.
I I had Facemaker, which is the dumbest concept ever. But I mean, in like 1985, when you just get an Atari, you're like, wow, I can make a face, awesome. You know, it's the video game equivalent of fruit stripe gum. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it's like 10 seconds. You're like, oh, okay.
With Dune, I loved the movie, but I with the movie that really brought on a love of the video game. There was a video game Dune 2, and it got renamed with Dune 2000. And it
I
was
know
a
this video game quite well.
yeah. Uh it was the first real-time strategy game. A matter of fact, Command, and I think I said this on a previous show, but it's actually the predecessor to Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer was supposed to be Dune 3, but they couldn't obtain the rights. So they ended up making Command and Conquer. But I saw somebody has remade Dune 2 with, I think it has updated graphics. So I'm going to be checking that out. It's like
So
it's
I
a
I
fan
watched
game.
this whole thing. So I watched the entire game playthrough of Dune
Yep.
because I was getting ready for an interview with John Rhys Davies, and he was the cutscene guy who would tell you, it's like, what you need to do is go out there and get that spice and harvest it and stay away from the
Oh, yeah.
Harkonnens. So it's like, I'm like, okay, so I'm getting ready to do this, and I'm going through, and I watched the YouTube playthrough, and every once in a while I would have to just like fast forward through like an hour of just scuttlebutt or whatever they had going on so I could get to that. And I'm like, okay, just writing down. It was like, oh yeah, yeah. And he had like these really big eyebrows, like Dean Stockwell,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, I mean, it's cool. And it reminded me, like you said, of Command and Conquer and StarCraft
Yes.
when
Yep.
that was a huge thing back in the day. It's like, okay, get your crystals.
Yeah, and same thing as the movie. You had to sometimes sacrifice a spice gathering machine. For if a worm was coming and you couldn't get it out in time. It's just yeah, it's fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's,
No, that's a good throwback. So, and if they're redoing that and they're redoing it to where, it's going to be, somewhat sustainable now. There's so many games like that, but to have it with that property, that's going to be great.
well, it's a fan remake.
That's still cool. And I
Yeah,
mean, there's like some Ninja Turtle games out there that are like really, really well made that are all fan produced.
yeah.
So some of the
Sa-
stuff's pretty good.
Same thing as Metroid. Some AMR2, another Metroid remake 2 or something like that. There's like a fan edit that was much better than the what Nintendo put out. Nintendo did like a cease and desist for them to stop,
Hmm.
but you can still find it on the internet.
Did you get to play the new Metroid?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've seen
Oh my
some of our
god.
buddies over at the Retro Redoctopus were talking about it, and I had to check it out, and I'm like, this game looks fantastic.
Yeah. Have you played it?
No, I haven't played it. My kids have the Switch, so I just get to look on and watch. But yeah, no, I want to get my hands on it.
Yeah, definitely play it. It can be a little bit frustrating at sometimes. There are going to be times where you just keep on dying over and over and over again, but everything has it's like a true 80s 90s video game where the bosses, they have patterns, and you just got to memorize the patterns and realize okay, when they move like this attack's going to happen. So it's very difficult, but you keep at it and you'll progress. And those EMMIs are scary as shit. It's that so in certain areas, they'll be hunting for you,
Oh
and
wow!
yeah, and you need to hide from them. And they progressively get more and more technologically adept. Like at towards the end, they can see through walls to find you. And then there's one, like if it spots you, it like shoots this matter at you to slow you down. And when they catch you, it's almost impossible to block the attack. So if they catch you, you're dead.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and you can't fight them back until you defeat one of the bosses, and the boss gives you energy enough to do this like plasma beam. You have to first get to a point where you can shoot them repetitively to break away their armor, and then you got to do a big blast to like blow up their head.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that sounds intense.
Oh, it is intense, but yeah, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm loving it. I think I'm like about 3/4 of the way through.
Is there has anybody discovered like a Justin Bailey code in there?
I don't know if you can put a code. I don't know.
that was the big thing back in the day where you could put that in. I forget what it would do. Like I know it would give you rockets, but you got to start at like the last level or something like that, fully upgraded with like so many guys. You know, I just always remember that. I'm like, yep, good old Justin Bailey.
Yeah, and the freak out after you beat it, find out Metro or Samus is a woman.
Yeah,
What the hell?
I was a big Blaster Master guy,
Oh
so
yes, I love
like
Blaster Master.
like I love that. Like, and everyone's like, oh, I love Metroid. I'm like, Metroid was great. I
Yeah.
love Metroid, but I was totally a Blaster Master guy, where I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna play and drive around my damn truck, get off the spikes, you know. It's like,
Oh, and you can get out of the truck and
yeah,
explore.
yeah, I like stuff like that. And another one, Guardian Legend. I don't know if you ever played that, but that's kind of another one along those veins. But you're in a spaceship, and that was pretty cool.
I remember the cover. I
Yeah,
must.
it's like one of the coolest covers ever. It's like a giant space dragon in a space. You're like, is that Ghidorah? You know? Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
There was, I don't think it was like 1941 or something like that, but there was a like an overhead flying game that you could like land in different islands and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, I remember all these retro games like
Yeah.
Silkworm, where you could play as the helicopter or the Jeep.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, the 80s magical games. Yeah.
So,
Oh,
but I mean, like 80s are coming back. We've got you think about it right now. We've got Stranger Things. We've got Ghostbusters. Like a lot of this stuff's coming out. They're re-releasing a ton of merch and things for these. Did you get to see the? Well, I know you did. So I'll just lead to that because you sent that to me.
yeah.
But Egon Spengler's proton pack.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up so everybody
Yeah,
can see. And this is the most dangerous site I've found.
yeah, Hasbro
HasLab.
Pulse.
Holy shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's okay. So, the GI Joe Sky Striker.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can't get back into a lot of these fandoms because I don't trust myself not to buy these things.
Oh yeah.
And it's yeah. So like when you talk a lot about Transformers, I'm like, I wish, but I just can't do it. So but yeah, look at that Rancor, man.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, this is so awesome.
It's got articulated arms too. And looks like the
27
fingers move.
27 inches tall.
Wow.
Okay, so the proton pack. The one problem somebody mentioned is it doesn't come with a wand.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But this is an exact replica of Spengler's proton pack.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah.
And it's $400, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll come out with like the slime gun from the second movie.
We're going to get a ton of merch for it. Now, from what I understand with the HasLabs is so there's different classes. So depending on how many people pre-order it,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know.
Do you remember back in the day, Matty Collector? I don't know if you remember it for the Mattel.
No.
So they had a Ghostbusters club, and you would like subscribe to it, and then you would get the figures. It would be like okay, this month is a Venkman, next month will be a Stance, then it'll be a Winston, then it'll be you get like Vin Clorthos or something, the Keymaster, and they did the same thing for Club Eternia. That was huge, like all the He-Man ones, but they did stuff like this, and now this is basically it's a company but doing like a Kickstarter sort of thing to see how many people of interest they can get to make this really cool thing.
So they're only showing class 0, which looks like you get slime. So one of the other classes, it has to be the wand.
I would think so. But I do love that they chose these things from the first movie, where he's doing the psychic test with the guy and he's shocking the guy and the girl is like, oh, you must be, I don't know, instead of wavy lines. Oh, I'm so sorry. So that's pretty clever that they did that.
Okay, so they say classic bundle. if 9,000 people back it. So
Wow.
I'm assuming that's probably going to be the wand.
Well,
And
so
then
let me do
2 is
some
the
math here.
Afterlife bundle, Spangler special.
So if we're looking at it, right, like whatever, it's $4.99, right?
$3.99.
$3.99. Okay, so $3.99 times 9,000. You're looking at $3,591,000.
Wow.
That's there's a lot.
Yeah.
So they're going to make some money on this, to say so, because they've got what, 46 days, and they're already a quarter of the way through their goal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it was like this for the Sentinel too. I don't know if you saw that, but it's like a 2.5 foot, maybe 3 foot Sentinel that they did for $800.
Well, we can look at the past ones, past projects.
Yeah, the giant Unicron. Yep. Yeah, he turns into something that's literally as big as your coffee table.
Yep. Okay,
Wow.
so yeah. That's insane.
Damn, man.
Did you see the Metroplex that they're making?
No, I haven't.
Holy shit. There is a Metroplex that's going to be 4 feet tall.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is insane.
I just like to make that reference about "Bring Me the Eyes of Metroplex," from that '85 movie. Yeah, I mean, see, Leo, you're gonna go broke,
I know.
because
Oh, geez. Yeah. So yeah, this is a new one they released today.
yeah, Lift Ticket is who it is. I remember Lift Ticket, the GI Joe, but not as the Transformer.
Yeah, there's one like this that's green. I forgot that character's name. I had him when I was a kid. And the new Optimus Prime, he looks chunky.
Oh, the laser one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be a year, that goes by where we don't have a brand new Optimus Prime. So
Yeah.
and somewhere out there's someone waiting for this figure and waiting to pre-order it, and salivating about it. So good on them. I just I'm good.
Oh, here we go. Here's the other ones. The Galactus.
Yeah, I actually ran into him. I went to the Chicago Toy Show on Sunday, which is the largest collection of toy vendors in the Midwest. And I mean, it was huge. And I got to see this thing in person, and it is big. And it's detailed, which is crazy. It just looks awesome.
And then what was it? Was it like $500?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was like easily that.
The funniest thing is the Razor. Razor.
Yeah.
Crest.
I'm so pissed because I've been looking for this thing in the Lego set for
Yep.
like at least 2 years now, and it was like a special edition or something that you couldn't get, and now you just can't find it anywhere. I'm like, man. And then after what happened, it's like, all right, well, I guess I don't need it now.
Yeah.
I can just
Well,
have it.
Well, that was the funny thing was after this ended, it was like 2 weeks after this ended, they destroyed it on the
Yeah.
ship. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I still want the ship, but
one thing I've been wanting to get, and what is it? It's
that's a great set, by the way. With that, I don't know if those figures are included with it, but what a cool looking ship.
the Smuggler's Run. Ooh. Is it on sale?
Ooh.
There's dropping. Oh, box only, $100. Fuck that.
Yeah. Jerks.
Yeah, somebody's selling it for $650. This thing's huge. It's a remake of the Black series that came out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, for that, you may as well get the Lego one.
Really?
Oh yeah, that thing's awesome looking. And I think it's like $150 or to like $200. So, or not. I mean, no, yeah. What was that, 150? That makes sense.
Yeah, but that's a smaller one.
Oh, so the old one is really huge then. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you find it on AliExpress. What do you want? It
Yeah,
gets shipped over. You'll get it in 6 months. It's not like Wish. Yeah.
actually, you see the green guy in the back there?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a knockoff. Actually, let me grab it.
He's still great, right?
Oh yeah, thing's friggin' huge.
Yeah. Look at that.
Uh,
Devastator. That's badass, man.
yeah, yeah. Now he's
You talk about reliving your childhood, man. That's the greatest. Just to be able to go into the office and look at that every day.
yeah. Well, that's what I tell my wife. I mean, she calls me a large child, but it's when I get my orders in. uh I'll explain to her, I remember the day I got this when I was a kid, or why this has a special memory, like the most recent one, was, I can't remember his name.
The gigawatt.
No, the RC, not the RC car, the F1 racer transformer, Mirage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I got that one recently, the new one from the new set, and it's that one has a special memory to me because I had a friend in grade school, and he gave me his. It was broken, but it was a gift. I treasure all gifts, but since we went to different high schools, we split up, and I found out he committed suicide in high school.
Oh no.
But I still had a transformer that he gave me, and that I have it in a closet somewhere, but still broken and everything. And I always wanted to get a one that wasn't broken, so I got that. I had it on my desk for a while, and it's on the shelf, and I'll put it back there. But just brings back good memories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can kind of honor your memory of your friend by thinking about that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I got it.
Everyone should remember their first Transformer. I remember mine. Mine was Sea Spray. It was this little tiny. He's
I
like a
know Sea Spray.
hydrofoil.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Sea Spray was great. And then on the cartoon, I want to say season 5, Sea Spray ended up falling in love with a mermaid. I'm not making this up. That is a real thing. So and it was Alan Oppenheimer who did the voice, and he also did the voice of Skeletor and Falcor from Neverending Story. But he talked like this. It was really crazy. So
Have you seen the let me see if I can find it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna push you into this. This is like I'm gonna be a drug dealer, like pushing you into shit.
it's okay. I'm going right with you. So I did just go to a toy show. So you want to hear about the Technodrome I just bought?
Really?
Oh yeah, this one's really awesome, and they made a different variant paint of this one as well. But yeah, he looks great.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, that's the other one right there. That one's really cool too.
There's an updated one too. But I mean, yeah, this is
They made a movie one as well, even though he was not in the movie.
yeah, I think this is the premium one.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
I mean, but you think about it too. It's like $89.
Yeah.
To relive that memory every day and all that, and have that. If I was like into Transformers or something like that, that would probably be a must for me. I'm a huge Wheeljack guy, so I would probably get a Wheeljack and a Sea Spray at very least, and Starscream because come on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got the new Starscream. He's pretty badass.
Is that the one that comes with the crown?
Sorry, not Star. I'm thinking Jetfire. I pre-ordered the new Starscream that comes with a crown.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You'll send me a picture of that when you get it.
Oh, totally. There's also, I mean, so like the masterpiece ones are awesome, but they're so friggin' expensive. But there's a lot of knockoffs you can buy too.
And I mean, a lot of the times what I found with these knockoffs is that they're people who either work in the production and have like taken them home or something like that because they're defects or something. Like I bought one of my Hellboys that was a knockoff, and it's like the Mezco $89 one, and
Oh,
I
wow.
got it for $14.99.
Holy shit.
And it's a knockoff because when you feel the plastic and all that, you're like, what was this, like the prototype? Because like you can't move him. And I'm like, it's fine for me. I'm just gonna put him there. He's got his sword. He's got the the Torch of Liberty's gun. All that stuff. He's just sitting there. Everything's good. But if I try to move him, like everything falls apart. So, you got to know what you can and can't do with these knockoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean sometimes that's the only thing that you can do because some of these premium characters, they get picked up by scalpers and it's
Oh yeah.
impossible to find them.
Yeah, and I mean, I was talking about this with a friend of mine. We were doing an episode on my Ninja Turtles podcast, the Epic Tales from the Sewers. We're talking about covers for The Last Ronin and how the most sought after cover is the Aaron Bartling cover, and then they only made 300 of them, right? Well, there's not 300 people that have this. It's like there's like several people out there who got in early and got a whole bunch of them. So that's why a graded 9.9 is going for 10 grand. And this book came out a year ago, and it's just it's so like sought after by the scalpers and stuff like that. It's like an instant classic. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. Another one is
You trade it for Shiba coin.
there you go.
Oh, cool. Is that the ship?
No, this is Bumblebee, classic
Oh,
Bumblebee,
wow.
from the movie.
Oh,
And
wow. Yeah, no, he looks great.
yeah, so
I always thought he was Casey Kasem, but I think Casey Kasem did either Sunstreaker or Cliff Jumper.
yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, the new Bumblebee you can't find because scalpers pick them up. But this is a pre-order. So
Wow. And it's only $40 too, and it's like
yeah,
it sucks because I've been looking for some of these Marvel Legends figures, and by the time you get there, everything's picked clean.
yep,
And now is when we were talking about the Eternals. All the Eternals are like flooding the shelves right now, and nobody knows it, and kids don't know it, and all that. So it's like people are kind of speculating: is this going to be good? Is this going to be something that really takes off? And I'm not going to get stuck like when I bought Wonder Woman 84 merchandise, so
yeah,
I'm not committing to it. So, because
yeah. I mean, how many Jar Jars are out there?
oh man,
Yeah,
but the kids are into it now. It's
yeah,
so different from like when we were there, at midnight, 12:01 waiting for the Phantom Menace to start and all that, and then we all left with the same similar amount of disappointment.
yeah,
The kids now have grown up with Jar Jar, and they're like, I think he's funny. Jar Jar does funny things. Jar Jar was always my favorite, and it's just wow. It's just so funny.
yeah. Well, I mean, with any of these, if it's something you enjoy, just buy it. It's just
I just
yeah.
like to go on record saying that I do not enjoy Jar Jar. So
No, no, I agree.
he is not my jam. So
Um, okay, so we had some new trailers that came out. Did you? So we had Lightyear. Did you check that out?
yeah, is that Chris Evans doing that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it looks gorgeous, in terms of films and all that. I could see why they're doing it because now they're catching the nostalgia market for the people that were like, okay, you were a young kid when Toy Story came out. Now here you are at age 30 plus. Yeah, they're gonna hit that market hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks good. Chris Evans only says like one syllable throughout the whole trailer because
Yeah,
you're waiting for the Home Improvement guy to say it. Uh, we saw talked about Black Friday. Oh, Masters of the Universe Revelation.
yeah,
Oh,
Revolution season 2.
that
That
was so
is
good.
cool, man.
The,
I
the,
loved it. I know there was some heat on this, like coming into it and all that. I know our buddy Patsy was really excited when the first part of the season came out, and I'm right there with him. I
yeah.
think it was excellent. I really
Yeah.
liked it.
Well, a lot of it is, the friggin' gatekeepers, it's,
Dude, Masters fans are tough. They
yeah.
like I was telling you about like the
Oh,
club attorney and stuff like that. And they're all asking for this show that if they supported the show back in 2002, that would be the show they're asking for. They
yeah.
didn't support that. Nobody
Yeah.
did. That's why
No,
it got canceled.
yeah.
So,
Well, you have to admit, it's also a lot of people that like hated on the new Ghostbusters because it was all women. It's just
oh
it
yeah,
the
yeah,
the biggest thing. A lot of people saying, why am I going to watch it because it's a Tila story, but it's not. It's a Eternia story, And I grew up with the original He-Man. We loved it when we was kids, but you go back to watch it now, and it's absolute shit. But it's
I like the rotoscope type of animation where it's like they move very fluidly, and
yeah.
there's some funny things like, "Hey kids, remember not to drink paint." It's like, "Hey, man."
Yeah.
I was listening to like on the Alexa, I was listening to play TV theme songs and all that, and that one came
Oh,
on,
nice.
and it just plays the music in the background, and there's nothing more awkward than just hearing "Da, da, 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 hey man," and it's like, all right, you're expecting something else, but that's it, and it goes on for 3 minutes.
Oh,
I'm like,
nice.
all right. Like afterwards, I was listening to "Killer Tofu" by Doug and all that, and I'm like, well, I guess He-Man's a miss, without the speaking parts.
Well, it still throws back memories. You still enjoy it.
So, did you check out the other Netflix Masters of the Universe series at all?
The new one?
Yeah,
Or
so they did like a kid version.
oh, no,
It
I
looks like Troll Hunters, I guess, if you
yeah,
if you've ever seen that a little bit. Animation's interesting. It's got a really different taste, like take on it. And they're doing like all the weird things that they're doing right now with like a reboot is like, okay, diversity and things like that. So it's like, all right, Ram Man is a girl, and she has a special magical helmet. It's like, okay, and He-Man was like taken away from the king, and the king is a bad guy in this, and you're like, oh, okay, it's completely different. But the cool thing about this is, keeping in mind that this is a kid show and they're trying to appeal to children, Skeletor has a cursed hand that if he touches you, he steals your soul.
oh,
And
wow.
it's super graphic. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty crazy.
Wow, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
Also
you don't have to go too far into it,
yeah,
but it was just, like you get to episode 2, you see Skeletor, and you're like, all right, yeah.
nice. Well, also this week we're getting the kids Star Trek series.
Yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten that that's coming up.
It's
Yeah.
what, Prodigy?
Yeah, that's gonna be on was it
Paramount
Paramount
Plus.
Plus, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's also gonna be a Nickelodeon as well, but I think that's who they got to produce it.
yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. Yeah, I know it's going to be on Paramount Plus, so I'll check it out.
I wonder if Will Wheaton's gonna do it on the Ready Room.
Oh, maybe.
That would be fun. This is your original Prodigy and all that, and then to bring that back, that would be kind of a fun throwback.
Yeah, yeah, I would. Let's see. I think that was it for trailers.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's funny because like the stuff that's dribbling out now, you're getting like all the cool down of all the horror stuff for Halloween, and everything's picking up for like the winter season. And I mean, we're all still waiting for Ghostbusters, but
yeah,
like some of the stuff that was supposed to be so exciting, it's like, did you hear anything else about James Bond? No.
no.
It's like, wow, all I heard about was that it was crushed by Venom. You know, and then like going into movies, my co-host Justin has been saying this for a while, but we are going into another movie shortage because they just put them out as soon as they film them. So now we're going into like a backlog, and there's not going to be anything really good again until maybe like February, it seems.
Yeah. Well,
Despite what's coming out in December, I mean.
yeah. Well, it's we still have some good TV coming.
Oh,
Hawkeye.
yeah, TV's killing it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're getting to the point where I know people are going back to the theaters, but it's still good to stay home. It's
Mhm.
we're almost through this pandemic. It's just a little bit longer. It's yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Are you at all into the other video games like the PS5 and Xbox stuff like that?
I so want a PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with this because it's another miss from Sony where it's like, how could they not have them mass produced to get out this year? Like
Well,
that's
well, they've been releasing them, but the thing is, the scalpers keep on picking them up.
yeah. That's I mean it's crazy.
It's
And
so
how are they gonna be pushing out games on these things? Even not even having to do games and just putting games out through the like the PlayStation Store and stuff like that. I
yeah.
mean, what a missed friggin' opportunity.
I think when there really hasn't been too many games for it, but I think when the games really start to come out and they realize that they still have three 2/3 of the inventory stuck in scalpers garages,
Hmm.
and nobody's buying PlayStation 5 games, I think they're really going to say, oh shit, what did we do? It's because Walmart still hasn't fixed their website. Target hasn't fixed their website. Best Buy, it's they've made some changes to their website, but it's still almost impossible to get it. PlayStation started where you can actually sign up for a chance to
Oh, like
be
a lottery.
sort of like they've done like the lottery, but this here is where you sign up and they'll email you when if it's available to buy. You'll be selected. Best Buy did scalping, but with an extra step. Did you see what Best Buy did?
Is that where you had to do the subscription?
Yeah, $200 a year subscription in order for a chance to buy one.
Yeah, I mean that's not out of the realm of possibilities. That seems like absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, this seems like the type of place where Amazon can really clean up.
yeah,
Where they can come in and be like, "Hey, guess what? Not only do we have them, but we have a bundle, and it's a premium bundle,
yep,
and we'll give it to you if you sign up for a 3-year subscription to Prime or something." That's like
yeah.
the that's why they're just going to crush things.
And they can say, hey, we're going to assure that each household just gets one.
Yeah, they absolutely could because they've
Yeah,
got all your friggin' data.
yep,
you
exactly.
know?
Yeah. Well, it's as long as I can get one before February, I'm good. Because Horizon Zero Dawn,
Oh yeah.
Forbidden West, I think it is. Facebook user says 100% agree.
Hmm.
Yeah. Let us know who you are, Facebook user. Um, what about you? Your PlayStation, Xbox?
Yeah, I've got the PlayStation 4. I actually just broke out the PlayStation 3 because I've been into the retro gaming lately.
Oh, nice.
And the cool thing though about like your PS4 stuff is that you're able to get your PS4 and PS5 games. So you can get them together and then you're just not having to buy like a copy of God of War 4 again. So because you have it on that.
Yeah.
I did just pick up and I've yet to play it, and I mean, bad on me, but I got the PlayStation version of Alan Wake. Have you ever played that game?
No, no.
Oh man, so this was an Xbox exclusive back when 360 was a thing. Alan Wake is kind of like it's a really cool tale where you're fighting shadows to try to I think you're trying to get your wife back. So the cool thing is you have a flashlight and you have your gun and you're just like a regular guy and you have to shine the flashlight to get rid of the shadow and then you can kill the monster. It's like, oh, but it was just like such a cool concept because most of it is about light. And it's not about like what kind of gun you get, like Resident Evil or anything like that. It's like, okay, what sources of light can you use to do this? And it was really innovative. And finally, it's out. They've got a port on it out to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and Xbox One.
Oh, nice.
That's a really cool game though.
Huh. I'm other than Metroid, I started playing Dragon Warrior 10, I think it is.
Oh wow, yeah.
Um and it's the definitive edition, so it allows you to play like 8-bit mode, like is the same story, but it's not 3D. It's like 2D overhead type of gameplay.
I like that stuff. I feel like when they had less, they did more.
Yeah,
Like when you go back to a game like Chrono Trigger or something like that, and it's like they're not trying to wow you with graphics. You just have so much plot and exposition and just like character development and stuff like that. And
yeah,
I miss that because now it's just like, oh, what can we throw that's over the top to do this? And I don't get into a lot of games like that because I just don't care. I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, it's just it's like flavorless for me. I'd rather have something that has a little heart to it. So
yeah.
I'll go back and play the old ones.
So how do you play the old ones?
PlayStation has PlayStation Now, and there's Yeah, Alan Wake is awesome, Tom. Absolutely. Um, like the PlayStation Now, you can get, and you can actually play on your PC. You can, if you stream it, you can get an email linked and just play directly from your PC instead of being on the PS4. But I they have like a ton of RPGs. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, they're on there. I still have my PS3 hooked up, so I can play Legend of Dragoon, which is one of my all-time favorite games. I love that. But
Nice.
yeah, and just I held on to a lot of this stuff. So if I want to go back and play like Rogue Galaxy or something like that, or Skies of Arcadia on GameCube, I kept it all. So
Oh, nice.
just for that purpose.
Yeah. Did you ever mess around with emulators?
Yeah, absolutely. You remember Nesticle and like Rock Nest and all
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
way back?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got like a CD-ROM from like back in
Ah,
the day. It's like, oh, this has every ROM, and I'm like, well, I want to go back and play Disney's Gargoyles on Genesis, or Bucky O'Hare, like one of my favorite NES games.
nice.
So,
Uh, th-
absolutely.
yeah, they've gotten pretty complex. There's like there's like I think it's RetroArch, which is sort of like a an application to run all your emulators. So like everything's all in one spot. And then there's like a skin that you can get over that where it like shows like the cartridge art and then information
Oh
and
wow,
yes,
that goes deep.
yeah, it's really cool stuff. It's a pain in the butt to set up. But once you get it set up, it's awesome. I keep on going back to play the old Kung Fu
Oh my
for
god.
NES. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love that game. I finally beat it. I never beat it when I was a
Oh
kid.
wow.
But yeah, I
I
got
remember playing that, and I remember playing like the Karate Kid game, and
yeah, yeah,
I saw Tom was just talking about the GTA
definitive
definitive.
edition.
Yeah, I'm not a GTA guy because I remember when Vice City came out, and I was playing Kingdom Hearts, and I was playing Kingdom Hearts like so much and vigorously that I was looking for that game to be Kingdom Hearts. And I'm like, how come you jump and you can't glide like Sora does? So it's just but I mean, GTA, like to be able to play all of them in one spot is going to be great.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if they're
well,
upscaling anything, that's going to be fantastic.
so you can't play all of them because 1 and 2 aren't in the kit.
No, it's 3, right? Vice City, and then is San Andreas in it, or is it
I think
because I know it's 3 in Vice, I believe, at very least, but
hey,
I thought it
Tom,
was
tell us what's in it.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because 1 and 2 were overhead games.
Yeah, and I thought they were only on PC or something.
Yeah. Well,
Wasn't 3 kind of overhead?
no.
No, it wasn't.
1 and 2, 3.
So I remember 3 was on PS1, right?
I believe so. Okay, Grand Theft Auto came out in 1997. Oh, and it was available for PS1.
Oh, it was. Okay.
It was available for PC, Game Boy, PS1, Dreamcast, and Xbox. So that was for Grand Theft Auto 2, and Grand Theft Auto 3. The definitive edition, Tom Dog says it is 3 Vice City and San Andreas.
See, there you go. I mean,
Yeah.
you get the value from this at least from Vice City and San Andreas,
Yep.
like at very least. So, and I remember at the time that those came out, I was running a Blockbuster in Plainville, Connecticut, and I mean, we couldn't keep San Andreas on the shelf. Like we literally we would have people just like bum rushing the store. Oh, do you have it? You have it? It's just absolutely crazy.
I've never played San Andreas.
Yeah, it was a supremely popular game. It was just like everyone knew about Vice City, and people were
Yeah.
coming in to rent it, and it was like your same type of person that would come in and be like, "Hey, do you have Scarface?" They were coming in to get like San Andreas and all that, and rarely would they return it. Let me just tell you. So
I remember renting Vice City and enjoying it. And then I skipped San Andreas and I went right to 4, and I've never played 5.
I know they changed it, and then there was Saints Row afterwards, which was kind of it was kind of Grand Theft Auto without being Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of the same thing, but they were doing like
Well,
some crazy stuff with it.
actually, there was similar to Grand Theft Auto. It wasn't Mafia. It was, I think, um,
I did
Go-
like Mafia too. That was a cool
Godfather.
game.
Did you
I
ever
didn't
play
play Godfather. No, was it
Godfather? Was really good.
based on the movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was very GTA type, where you could steal cars, but you were also running missions and doing hits. It was, and then if the police are chasing you, it was very of that era, so you could easily avoid the police by like just driving over the bridge to Jersey. It was just
That's how you do it.
yeah, yeah,
Everything's
exactly,
legal in Jersey.
yeah. And then you get to Jersey, and it's like the suburbs and stuff like that. Yeah, it's yeah, that was a fun
Yeah,
game.
Mafia was like that too. That was fun.
Yeah.
And and that reminds me of another one I have to go back and play is that LA Noir. I have to go back and beat that.
Oh yeah.
I never finished that one. I even had like the book. I had like the strategy guide. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go through this thing. It's like, like someone sits down and says, they're like, you know what? I want to read the classics. I'm gonna go through like the Odyssey or like Beowulf, and I'm all like, I want to play L.A. Noir. You know, just set aside like a good week.
Yeah. Well, video games is just another form of art. So it's yeah, it's uh yeah, I enjoyed LA Noir. I never finished it as well.
Yeah, it's sometimes you feel the need to go back. Like I remember playing a game called Vagrant Story, and when I tell people about this game, I'm like, yeah, I beat Vagrant Story. They're like, what? No one beat Vagrant Story. I'm like, yeah, everybody else gave up. I just kept going. It's man, the deep cuts too. So
um Last thing I just wanted to bring up about and get your thoughts on was the Rust shooting.
oh
That's
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, that's tragic. So in terms of this, I mean, from what I've seen, they didn't have any sort of shield on the camera, and I don't know if that was for like aesthetic choices or something like that, but it seems like there was a lot of breaches of safety there, and there was just kind of like a poor culture for it. So I think we're going to see some sweeping changes in terms of cinema, so nothing like this happens for another very long time.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
there's always a risk. Like that's the thing about doing a movie. You know, actors literally put themselves in dangerous situations, and someone could get hurt or killed or anything. So
yeah.
it's like your risk is never going to be zero, but the risk to someone like the cinematographer and all that, it's like, hopefully that's not going to be something that happens any time in the future.
Well, it just seems like this year there was just so much going wrong. From the articles I read, and definitely, just take this all with a grain of salt because I'm sure a lot of it's going to be coming out because the FBI is now involved. But from what I read, the film crew walked off because there was safety issues that weren't being addressed. The crew that was currently on set during time was a non-union crew. The armorer had issues like this in the past. And apparently they were using that gun with live ammo hours prior, doing target practice.
Hmm. But I mean, like, if you think about it too, there's going to be a certain amount of spin to everything, right? So having a non-union crew, that's something where it's like that's non-favorable because people are saying it's like, oh well, everybody should be union for this and all that. Well, they walked off. That's what the
Yeah.
union people did. So it's like there may still have been qualified people to do this. It's just that's kind of like the spin that we're getting of it.
Yeah.
The armor and all that stuff, you're gonna see some sort of indictment or something like that for someone who's just creating this unsafe environment.
Yep.
So I mean, I had heard that I think the family of Brandon Lee had reached out to say that they were sorry and anything like that, and I'm like, man, this is just like it's like tragedy on top of tragedy.
Yeah.
So, and it's sad. Like I don't
Well,
want to say it's
extremely.
not sad and all that, but it's like in terms of like everything that's going on in the world, it is such a footnote of things. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, I mean, you have 3 victims there. You have, the person that was killed, the person that was also caught in a shot that was extremely injured, and then you have Alec Baldwin that has to live with this for the rest of his life that he killed somebody.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
that's gonna be tough,
Yeah,
and I mean, knowing what we know about him as like a consummate professional and all that, I'm sure he's gonna finish this film.
yeah,
Who knows how much time it's going to take them to get back, and is everything going to look the same, and are people going to see this movie because it's like, oh, this is the movie where someone died,
yeah.
is that going to be the thing, or is this just going to be like another HBO Max fly under the radar sort of dumpy movie?
Uh, as far as I understand, this is an indie movie, right?
Yeah, I really hadn't seen much heat on it. I'm like, all right, he does so much stuff too. It's like you never know. It's like, oh yeah, he's in this film. It's like I had forgotten he was in The Departed. Like, oh yeah, and I'm like, that's a huge movie. He's just in like he's probably got like over 400 credits on IMDb. So
Yeah. Okay, so this is being directed by Joel Souza. It's a 13-year-old boy left to fend for himself and his younger brother following their parents' deaths in 1880s Kansas. Goes on to run with his long estranged grandfather after he's sentenced to hang for the accidental killing of a local rancher.
that's a little on the nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stars Alec Baldwin, Jensen Ackles.
Wow.
Trying to see if there's any
So
other.
they're trying to equal out good actor, bad actor. So
Yeah, let me
and I
go.
love Jensen Ackles, but I mean, come on.
So here's the great thing about IMDb Pro is that you can actually go into it and sort the stars by star meter.
Oh wow. There you go.
So going down the list for larger actors, obviously Alec Baldwin, Travis Finnell from Warcraft and Vikings, Jensen Ackles, Francis Fisher.
I hate to say this, but Brandon would totally know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's from Titanic, Unforgiven, and Holiday. Brandy Noon from the Mighty Ducks.
Mhm.
And then it drops off from there. I mean, there's actors, but they're all
I'm guessing that's the Mighty Ducks Disney Plus series.
probably,
Yeah.
yeah. Todd Bryant from Barb and Star, Go to Vista Del Mar, Daddy's Home, and Daddy's Home 2.
Yeah, I mean, I try to see most of the movies that come out because that's
Yeah.
a big thing that we do on the Geek Life HQ podcast is talk about movies, but a lot of them are missed, and a lot of these indie ones, it's sometimes it's not, just not on the radar.
Yeah.
You did get me onto one that I had never seen and didn't even know about, which was it Prisoners of Ghost Town? Did you get to watch that one?
Not yet. No, I've
Oh
been wanting
my
to.
god. So
That's Nicolas Cage, right?
yeah, Nicolas Cage and Bill Moseley are in it. Highly recommend this for any Dorkening listeners out there. If you've not checked this out, I'm a big fan of Nicolas Cage. I just watched Pig and I loved Pig. So it's not what you would think at all. So it's just it's like John Wick, but he's a chef.
Yeah.
So it's and he's looking for his pig. That's the movie, guys. Go check it out.
I need to watch Pig and I need to watch the Ghost movie.
Yeah, the Prisoners of Ghost Town. So it's like that would be something that if I saw that next to Rust, I would check out Prisoners of Ghost Town 100% of the time.
Nice.
So I that's just kind of where my head's at in terms of like indie films. But
Yeah.
that's what I would recommend anyway. Check that out instead. Go watch Jujitsu. Who cares? Yeah.
I didn't care for jujitsu.
Well, I mean,
Well,
it
well-
looked like a GoPro camera filmed half of the movie.
Yeah.
So they didn't, and then it's like, oh, well, is this movie Predator? Is this movie not Predator? So it's kind of like, is this the Power Rangers movie? So it didn't really know what it wanted to be as a film.
Yeah.
And I mean, it had fun parts to it for sure, but yeah, I mean, I probably would have rather watched three ninjas go to Magic Mountain.
What if Assembled is out?
Oh, what's that?
It for Disney Plus, it's the Assembled. Have you
Is
been
it?
watching those?
So I've seen all the What Ifs. So are you saying that this is maybe like the Avengers with like those characters from What If?
Oh, no, no, no. So sorry. So the Assembled series on Disney Plus
Oh,
is
I know what you're talking about. The creator
yeah,
ones. Gotcha.
it's the making of. So yeah, they released one for What If. Um,
That's awesome. We're big fans of Captain Carter in this house and
yeah,
T'Challa the Star Lord.
yep,
Outstanding. My favorite episode is him as the Star Lord. And I mean, the episodes I thought were cool. A lot of people threw some heat on them. They didn't like it. They thought it was this or that or the other thing. I liked it.
yeah.
You
You
know,
just
and when you get to the end and there's like this catharsis because they completed something. It's I enjoyed it. I thought What If was cool.
yeah, same here. Absolutely loved it. Um, have you?
The zombie one was the weakest one for me, but
I agree. Yeah,
yeah.
it was definitely dark. Facebook user says, "Hey, sorry I'm late. Let us know who you are." Facebook user. Um, are
Well,
you
glad
watching?
you're here.
Yeah, totally. Are you
Keep us
watching?
from talking about Star Trek.
Are you watching Ghosts?
Yeah, I just saw that. I have not gotten into it, but it reminds me of like the hallways at Hogwarts.
Okay.
It's kind of all that. I opted to watch the Werewolves Within instead, which I
Okay.
enjoyed. But yeah. What's the deal with ghosts here?
Okay. So if you haven't watched it yet, I would highly recommend go watch the British version first. It's 3 seasons. They just finished season 3. And essentially, it's this young couple. They inherit a house. Their great grandmother passes or something like that. And, as she's passing, she's surrounded by the ghosts of the house. And they're like, "Oh, we welcome you to the house. We've been watching you all these years." And then poof, she gets sucked up into heaven. And they're like, "Oh, well, it was worth a chance," or something like that. Well, anyway, the couple that inherits the house, um, one of the ghosts like instantly fell in love with the girl, and he's like trying to woo her and like tries to kill her so that she can become a ghost and they
Oh,
can get
geez.
together. But she lives, but she gets sent to the hospital, and because she had a near death experience, she can now see the ghosts. And it's her and her husband trying to fix up the house, but she essentially the ghosts are like, they're like all around the house, and it's a comedy. It's friggin' hilarious.
Wow. So
Yeah,
you've got like Frighteners and Beetlejuice sort of vibes going on, and I mean those are two of my favorite movies, so I could definitely see that working.
yeah. It's ends up being more of a comedy because you have these ghosts from different eras. But yeah, it's there's like one ghost. He's totally a perv from the 80s. He like died without his pants on, so he just has like this shirt on, and it's just like it's hilarious. He's just making all these lewd like 80s comments. Yeah, and then you have this ghost from like the 1800s that's like a total prude. So yeah, totally hilarious. But yeah, she's trying to live a normal life, like having a dinner, and then all these ghosts are like yapping about. And yeah, just definitely give it a try. Short seasons. Definitely watch the British one first. It's a lot better than
Okay.
the US version. US version is like 3 episodes in. I think this is going to be the fourth one. Takes a lot from the British one. Like some episodes are like spot on. Just done with a minor tweak. But I find the British humor a bit better though.
That's good. So that's like what a lot of people were saying about was it the Nearly Human or something? The one with like the ghost, the werewolf, and the vampire or something like
Oh
that.
yeah. Yep.
Like there was that, and everyone's like, "Oh, the British version's so much better." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." I mean, it's a sci-fi production. What are you expecting? Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jar Jar Jeremy. That's who it is.
Oh, there you go.
And hope to see What If land in the 616 continuity. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy if they start using the 616 again
Yeah.
because that's one of those things that they stopped and they're like, "Oh, this is the Marvel 616." And it's like, "Just bring that back." Like we're okay with that. And I think they got rid of that when and I don't know, you guys haven't covered the Secret War from 2010 in or 2013 in Splash Pages yet, right?
Nope, not yet.
That'll be a good read. So I always love to see where your guys' take is on those, but yeah, they stopped doing the whole Marvel 616 thing, and it's like they left all of us geeks out here. We're like, well, what do you want us to call it then? You know, I mean, it's not Days of Future Past. It's not the Sentinel Future or anything else like that. It's like, what do you want us to call it?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of reading, I finally made it to issue 100 of the Rebirth Batman.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
so you got past the Joker War. Let's see, there was the Riddler and Joker War, and then the Joker War after that, right?
Yeah. So he just lost his fortune.
Yeah, you're in a cool spot. You're with like the pawnbroker, or the broker, I guess you call it. Power broker, maybe? I don't know, but
the issue just at the end of the 100 is the guy that's all in white got shown. I tried reading some recent issues, and I guess he's more prominent. But this is like the first issue. He was
so you've already met like Clown Killer and Punchline and all them. So
Yep.
What's your honest opinion of Punchline?
Uh
She sucks, right?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's not just me. So, and again, I like most things. I just find like this character has like all this unearned sort of credit, and I'm like, you're not there, you know?
She was just trying to be it was just bad to be bad, you know?
Yeah, and it's like at the end, it's like she does this whole thing where she claims being a victim on social media or
Yep.
something like that, and everyone
Oh,
like
I
forgives
hated
her.
that. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you are the worst kind of millennial.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
oh. I'm like, I
Uh-huh.
can't wait to the next crisis where they just off your ass. You know,
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad I'm almost caught up. So
yeah.
yeah.
It's and it gets better because it's like I was a big fan of like a lot of the stuff that happened in that Tom King run, and then at the end you could tell it's like he wanted to go to 100 but they wouldn't let him, so he
Yeah.
had this slow burn that they had to like change. So about like issue 75 it starts getting weird and disjointed, and then it starts getting really good when James Tynion the fourth takes over. So or Tinian the fourth takes over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so cool. You're like, oh, ooh, ah, ooh. And he's
Yeah.
asking questions that, haven't been done. It's like, okay, is Batman just a rich guy with this stuff? Because now he doesn't have the money. What's he gonna be like? Well, he's still Batman.
Yeah.
And you're gonna find that out and all that. And it's cool because Catwoman's there and she's giving him hell the whole time. She's like, I got all your money. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty great.
I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, the Tom King run was a little tough to get through at the end around the wedding area in City of Bane, and it was just but I don't see all the hate that it gets. It was still
It's
decent.
unfounded. I mean,
Yeah.
it's right now. It's like you've got Marvel fans who are always complaining because something's not whatever, and they don't even read the book.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, go back to reading your 100th Spider-Man crossover about like another evil alien Venom. Okay, cool. You're fine with that. Be fine with that.
Yeah.
Then the DC fans who are complaining because of this, that, and the other thing. DC fans are just never happy, and DC has had for like the past couple years like some of the best stories that come out of all this stuff. They've had a lot of fluff, and there's like 100 Batman books or Harley Quinn books out at like any particular time. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of fluff,
Yeah.
but like you get some really good gems in there. Like when we got Batman the Damned, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Or Red Earth, or was it Dead Earth? I think, or the Wonder Woman book, and some of these anthologies. We had like a horror anthology book, and
Oh, they're taking forever to finish it, and I think issue 5 just came out. Batman the Detective.
yeah, there's that one. There's Batman Reptilian. There's so many good books out there for
Yeah.
DC, and they're really putting their stuff into it where they have like these amazing artists, and like you get like the variant covers on all of these things, and it's like they're really throwing a lot of stuff into this
Yeah.
because James Tynion the fourth is like the hottest writer out there right now. And another friend of the show there, Tim Seeley, another of the hottest writers out there, who's got like 17 comics out right now that are amazing. So these guys are the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
So I mean, these are the books to be checking out.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. I am looking forward to getting anything else for the Wheel of Time series that's going to be on Amazon. So I'll be looking out for that, in the next coming months and all that. That's going to be amazing. And the Lord of the Rings series that they're going to do, hopefully they don't screw that up. But those should be good.
Yeah,
They're going to
it's
screw it up.
yeah, you never know. What do you think of the Game of Thrones trailer?
I think it looks amazing, and
Yeah.
I think that the two guys that did it need to find a way to get some sort of redemption, and maybe they've got a little bit to prove here. And a lot of the people haven't really been doing anything. I think like some of these production companies and all that. So I think they're happy to get back to work. So I hope they get a lot of the same people to do the effects and things. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. And I mean, Matt Smith is amazing. You've got your 12th Doctor there, so or no, it's 11th Doctor. So I think it's gonna be good.
I'm just gonna share this real quick, just seeing what's coming out this week. They're continuing Fortnite.
Yeah, that's still going.
Well, I mean, they finished it. Did you read the first one?
What was it 4 or 8 issues? I forget how long it
I
was.
think it was 6.
Was it 6? Okay. All right. Well, split
Yeah.
the difference.
Let's see.
But that's what I'm saying. They're so like they've got a flavor for everybody right now. You've got Batman Fortnite, Batman Vampires, Detective, Fear State, Harley, Task Force X, King
Oh,
Shark.
the new Robin series is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, these books are the books that everybody's talking about right now. You're talking about Dick Grayson or not Dick Grayson. You're talking about Tim Drake as Robin, and you're talking about John Kent.
Uh,
Everybody's talking about him.
the Robin series is actually, I believe, is Damien.
This is the Damien series.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that? Issue 7, huh? Wow. Yeah, no. I am more into the Booster Gold and Blue Beetle series, the Blue and Gold. That's pretty good. There's some really good like prestige Marvel or not Marvel, geez, DC Black Label ones that have come out that are pretty good. Like one about the Question and Black Lightning and all that. And I'm still finishing up what was it? Secret something with it's another Tom King book, and I feel like I'm just finishing it up out of obligation, but it's just like it's all about like Adam Strange. I think it's called Strange Adventures, and I mean I was so into it when he did the Mr. Miracle series, and I'm like, this is great, I love it, it's so cool, Dark Side is and all that, and I felt like obligated to get on this one, and it is just like such a flash in the pan. I'm like, wow, they're not all hits.
Superman Son of Kal has been pretty good so far.
That's not Bendis isn't writing that, is he?
Uh
Brian Michael Bendis.
Taylor.
Oh, Tom Taylor. Okay.
Yeah, Taylor Timms. Let me go.
I don't know who else is.
Let's see. Art by Daniel D. Niculo and written by Tom Taylor.
Yeah, Tom Taylor's doing a lot of that stuff. Like he's doing the Harley Quinn series, and in this one, he's at the heart of a lot of this controversy.
Yeah, which I don't get.
I mean, I don't care about some of this stuff because it's like I don't read all these books anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about something that's in a Flash book when I haven't picked up a Flash book for years. I don't really care. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
that's pretty fun. Yeah, there's some cool stuff coming out, and like I said, like DC's got like a lot of great stuff, and I know Marvel has Aliens and Predator and all that, and I just have felt so disconnected from everything with the exception of Daredevil. That's the only thing that I still pull.
Yeah.
Even X-Men at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna check out, and I will check back in another 3 years or something.
Yep.
And that's okay when you have a book like that,
Yeah, this is Yeah, Marvel. I mean, even Spider-Man. I know there's a lot going on. I just can't follow. So that's why I'm gravitating towards just getting caught up with Batman and just
It's
just
all
reading
about
more
the
Batman.
indies right now, man. Like if you get a chance, you check out Something is Killing the Children. Another in your Batman writer James Tynion the Fourth is doing that. Someone got me onto years ago checking out Brian K. Vaughan stuff, and with Why the Last Man,
Oh yeah,
being such a phenomenal show. Saga is coming back, and if you like eclectic, weird sort of space Western drama stuff with aliens, that is one to check out. And I mean, I was addicted to that book. Like I would go once a week or like every week I'd go and buy like another graphic novel to get through this, and it was just so amazing.
nice,
And that's finally coming back.
nice. I just realized we've been doing this for almost 2 hours.
Oh, there we
Wow,
go. Okay.
it's been an
Well, thanks for
awesome
anyone for
discussion.
sticking with us. So,
Yeah, totally. Uh, well, we should wrap things up because tomorrow's going to be a busy day for me. So, my friend, where can people find you?
see, again, I wish Brandon was here. He could tell everybody. So, I think Twitter at jcoopstergold. Best place is Facebook. You can check me out, Justin Cooper on Facebook. Geek Life HQ is the name of the podcast. You can check out our most recent episode. We just interviewed Bobcat Goldthwait and Dana Gould for their
Sweet.
upcoming show. They're doing called Joyride. That was a lot of fun, and that was pretty cool. And check out the Epic Shells Facebook group and my other podcast, Epic Tales from the Sewers, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles podcast.
Very cool. And for me, just Google Leo Pine to find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not gonna say which is which, but more importantly, follow Justin. He's an awesome dude. And I run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network. About 40 shows on the network. Some awesome people doing some awesome stuff. And with that, we'll catch you guys later.